What's up, guys? Your boy, 22K13. I'm here to talk about 7 ways the WWE can take the shield out of Roman Reigns. And this is coming from WhatCulture.com. Roman Reigns should be the WWE champion right now. At least that was the plan. The reason he's not, you actually it could say that it's all of us because WWE chose to go in another direction because they felt like Reigns wasn't connecting with the WWE universe. So as a result, they went in another direction. That's why Seth Rollins is the WWE champion right now and probably will be until at least SummerSlam, when he is probably going to face Brock Lesnar. What does that mean for Reigns? It's an uncertain future. A lot of us expect him to be WWE champion within a year or two, whether he wins Money in the Bank and catches it in the briefcase or does it the old-fashioned way. It just seems like he's the kind of guy WWE is going to want to push to the top. Something that has to be done is they have to try to cut back on all the Shield related things he's still doing nearly a year after the group ended. The group was together in November 2012, then broke up in June 2014. It was a great run, but everything must come to an end. Rollins has moved on at the top heel, that is the WWE champion, while Dean Ambrose is trying to find his way as a mid-card babyface wrestler. A big reason why Reigns may not be connecting with the crowd as much as he should is because he's done a poor job moving on from the Shields. A lot of things he done are similar to what the group did together. It doesn't really look cool anymore. It looks like a guy trying to hang on to something from his past and he can't let go. Here are 7 ways that Reigns can change things up to look more like his own man instead of a guy hoping for the Shield reunion. Number 7. Team him up with the Usos once in a while. It would be nice if Roman Reigns could appear on camera with the Usos once in a while. They are legitimately cousins and they have been close all their lives. They were born in 1985 and are only a few months apart in age. That doesn't mean they will have to be some official stable. It would just be a way to make Reigns seem like a more likable performer if he was out there with his family, working together, having great matches with them on his side and giving him some personality too. It would help the Usos too because they barely get a chance to talk on WWE TV. Perhaps they could all turn heels together and do something like all those working as faces that have each other back would be fine too. This plan would be on hold now because Jey Uso is dealing with a shoulder injury that may require surgery, and if that happens, then he might be out for anywhere from 6 months or less. We don't know right now. I kind of agree with this. I mean, they are cousins, and I think they do. Roman Reigns just have to put. I think Roman Reigns just need to team up with one of his family, one of his blood cousins. I think that be a good idea. Number 6, cut the hair. Wrestlers having long hair isn't anything new. It's been a part of the business for decades and always will be. Some guys keep it for their entire career, others cut it when they get older, because that's just a part of life. What was cool in your early 20s may not be cool a decade later. The wrestling business or sports entertainment business as WWE like to call it is all about changing, evolving, and getting better. Wrestlers have to think about every aspect of their career. If you stay the same course all the time, you get boring. If you keep the same look, it also will appear like you not trying hard enough to be different. When John Cena was on the Chris Jericho podcast earlier this week, he told a story about how the first thing Vince McMahon said to him was to change his hairstyle. He didn't have long hair like Wayne, but it was some weird configuration on top. The point is that sometimes people need to change. In order for Reigns to totally evolve as a character, he needs to change some things up. Perhaps going in a different look in terms of a haircut is the way to go for him. Number 5, get him a manager. Everybody knows that Roman's weakest skill is related to his promos. He's pretty good when they have him do sit-down interviews, which I agree with that, where he doesn't have to yell into a microphone or deal with fans' reactions. However, when he out there doing a traditional wrestling promo, it just looks very unnatural. How can they fix it? Get him a manager. The name Paul Heyman immediately comes to mind because he's the best possible choice for a manager. And we all know that it doesn't have to be him, though. If WWE wants to keep Heyman away so he can only be associated with Brock Lesnar, who is now a babyface, then that's fine. There are others. A guy like Zeb Coulter comes to mind. He's an older gentleman now, but he can talk and has credibility. His look will have to change in order to be taken more seriously. It will also likely mean Reigns will be in heel role because usually heel wrestlers are the ones that have managers. Putting him with a manager is something that the WWE may not feel that Reigns needs right now, but certainly wouldn't hurt his future if he has somebody there to help guide him in the promo department. I have to agree with this. I mean, he do need a manager, but not like a type of Paul Heyman. But Zeb Coulter, I agree with. I mean, he just need a manager to work to help him with promo and speak for him. Number 4, turn heel and then go back face within a year. The babyface side of the WWE roster is loaded with talent right now. It's something a lot of us have thought about in recent months with Brock Lesnar and a face role as a part-timer. The biggest star in the company is on that side now too. In addition to him, there's also John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, and of course Roman Reigns as well. That's 7 guys that could headline be in a WWE title feud at any time, and fans will believe in it. Guys like Ambrose and Ziggler might need a bit more help to get there, but they are certainly popular enough for the fans to buy into them. If you look at the heel side, there are WWE champion Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, and also new heel Sheamus that could be considered main event level heel. After that, there's not that much. That's why you see WWE giving so much screen time to Big Show and Kane, even though they both passed their prime. Reigns is a perfect candidate to turn heel to help balance out the roster. Another reason to do it is there's an easy way to explain it since Reigns was clearly rejected by the fans, so he could talk about how he gave it his all and they turned their back on him. A heel turn would work because a lot of time a guy might go heel, then go back to the face role, and that person would end up being a bigger star with Reigns. With Reigns, they could plan the heel turn as a short-term thing rather than something he would do for a year or two. Turn him heel soon, then go back face around Royal Rumble 2016 and see if he can take off again. At this point, there's no harm in trying something different with him. I have to agree with it. I think you do something different with him, turn him heel, then around Royal Rumble, turn him face. I mean, the WWE have a lot to do with Roman Reigns, so we'll see what they would do with him. Number 3, give him a different theme song. The Shield theme song was a distinguishable track that made the 3 men in the group look like badasses. It was simple, imitating, and fit them perfectly. When the trio broke up last June thanks to Seth Rollins turning heel, they were all given new theme songs. Dean Ambrose had a generic rock song that upbeat. Violent had a song with a beginning that had a very dominant sound to it. Vane had a chill remix. Really, WWE, you thought that was a good idea? What that chill remix song does for Vane is make him look like that former band member that is still trying to pump out some greatest hit songs even though his buddies have moved on to something else. Hearing him walk out to the same kind of song as his former group just doesn't sound cool. The fans that don't like Vane may like him more if he had his own song rather than the Shield's greatest hit. It just seems so out of place. They need to give him his own song. Excuse me. Give him something with lyrics, make it upbeat or powerful. Just do something that allows him to stand out a bit more than a track that is just a continuation of what they did before. I have to agree, give him a new theme song. I mean, coming up to the Shield and wearing the Shield gear like every single week is getting corny. It's getting annoying. So they need to change up everything about Roman Reigns if he want to be the greatest in the WWE. Number two, give him a more traditional interest. When the Shield appeared together, their gimmick was to walk through the crowd. The idea was that those three guys were renegades that wasn't welcome backstage and were hired by others to take people out. It made sense. A few years later, after the group had established themselves and gone their separate ways, Reigns is still walking through the crowd. Why? There's no reason to do it. Remember how Edge and Christian used to enter. Remember how Edge and Christian used to enter by going through the crowd? That was their thing. It stopped when they went their separate ways. Christian even had a theme song where it said Christian, at last you're on your own, to make that point very clear. Maybe the reason could be that WWE wants to show that Reigns is a man of the people, so he's going to keep entering by walking down the steps to the ring. What would be better is if he had a more spectacular entrance. An example is a guy like Batista. Once he became a top guy, WWE gave him a cooler entrance complete with fireworks that he would set off when doing his muscle pose on the ramp. Give Reigns something like that. Nah, I wouldn't give Reigns like what he did, like Batista doing when he come down and he do his muscle pose and fireworks. That'd be so corny for Roman Reigns. So I don't know what traditional entrance that WWE would give him, cause I don't got nothing to come to. I don't know. Finally, the last one, change his look. The Shield work in large part because because they were different from everybody else. Obviously, their talent helped a lot, but they were very unique. Everything from the song to the entrance was something that only they did, and there were also their outfits. Those outfits really made them look like three tough guys that can kick anybody's ass. They all wore vests that made them look like they were hired assassin wrestlers wearing vests is pretty well. Most guys wrestle without a shirt on. Part of the Shield's success is because of how they look. Then they broke up. Rollins wrestled without a shirt on. Ambrose wear a tank top, and Reigns is still in a vest. That point earlier about a guy looking he is working in a tribute band that doesn't have the founding member is valid here too. Why is this man still wrestling in a vest when the others have gone on to do different things? Move on, dude. It's over. Maybe Reigns is self-conscious about his look. He shouldn't be. The man is ripped. Perhaps he doesn't have the six-pack abs that others have, but that's probably something he doesn't have to worry about either. Reigns is doing a poor job of being his own man right now. He's come off as this guy that has have a family and a former member of a popular group that doesn't know how to move on from it. It's a shame because he has so much potential. He's just doing a poor job of capitalizing on potential. It's not all his fault though. I got my end right here. It's your boy 22K13. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.